Whoa, this is exciting. They are giving away Tuhanarak, a Void Legendary Support Champion for new players. I've been thinking about starting a new account, and this might be the time to do it. In fact, if you have not already done so, click the link in the description and you will get Corrado upon download, who is also a legendary champion, and you'll get Ugo when you hit level 15. You'll get Tagore when you hit level 30. Now, if I was a existing player and I wanted to take advantage of all this deliciousness of bonus stuff, you know, the 2 legendaries and the 2 epics, I would install Plarium app from your PC, immediately download a new one right from my link in my video. So it'll be a link in the description. And then I would download using that link. And then in the first 48 hours of playing Raid Shadow Legends, I would use the promo code. And this promo code will also work on Android, but in the iOS, you'll have to go to their website, and then I would use the promo code Desert Queen. Now, we're going to go over all of the promo codes that are currently working right now. Now, they do have fixed dates, and some of them will be ending sooner than later. Like right now, Alice the Wanderer is a promo code called Get Alice, and that goes until September. Then you also have Loki, which is Get Loki, until the end of May. Then we've got Tuhanarak, which is Desert Queen, and I don't know how long that one's going to be lasting. I don't know if it's going to be short term, like a month, or it's going to be more extended. Then we've got Sun Wukong, which is Monkey King, will be going to the end of June. And this has been my general recommendation for people to use, because I got this guy when I started playing Raid Shadow Legends, and he has been more than amazing and is still my favorite champion to this date. And then we're going to go over Tree Hugger, which is also a popular choice. Now, I do not have this champion in my account. I'm more excited about her. I do have some Wukong, Loki, and Alice the Wanderer, and I've used those 3 champions extensively. So, uninstall the Plarium app, download a new Plarium app using the code in the description, and then you will get Corrado, Fox Hunter, Ugo, and Tagore. 2 epics, 1 legendary. Use promo code, and I'm going to suggest probably Desert Queen or Monkey King. We'll go over the difference between the 2. It's just depending what you want to do, but Desert Queen seems to be the logical choice from my point of view. So I want to talk about the 2 that I like the most, which is going to be Monkey King, Sun Wukong, and then her, the new one. And I'm going to get her name wrong all the time, but I don't really want to just refer to her as Haktua, because we can't do that. I just did it. All right, Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is a champion that I got when I started playing this game about 9 months ago. He still to date is my favorite character in my entire roster, because he is a monster, not only in arena, he's also amazing in campaign farming, which is super important at the beginning of the game. And then he's also very insanely helpful in Hydra. What makes him so good? Well, let me tell you. First things first, his aura increase ally speed in arena battles by 28%. So if you care about PvP, this is going to be vital. And in fact, I did not have a good time in live PvP until I got Arbiter, which you get for free by playing in the Arbiter missions, because you kind of need to have 2 of these guys, because it seems like one of them always gets banned. And so you kind of need to have 2, and for good measure, you might just need 3, right? So, I mean, I feel like these speed, aura, and arena champions are very important. Right now I have a total of 3, and until I had 2, I had 0 fun in live arena. So that's 1. Now his passive is kind of bonkers. Revive this champion with 100 HP, 100% turn meter, and 3 turns after 3 killed. Like, this is so incredibly good. Now he's the epitome of a glass cannon. He dies and comes back. He dies and comes back. And very often he can one-shot entire teams when you're playing in PvP, because he's that strong. He's the epitome of a glass cannon. Right here, he takes away all the buffs, and this block buff is very useful, but specifically in Hydra, you kind of have to have a character that does this to put the block buffs right there, and that's great. Then this right here, it's kind of hard to explain how this works very quickly, because I don't want to go into detail, but you target the weakest enemy, and then if you kill them, it typically wipes the rest of the board. That's just how it works. The way that it works is a paragraph, and then there's some other things that could possibly happen, but generally you target the weakest enemy over there. And if you kill them, it's going to delete the rest of the team. That's just the way it normally plays out. And then stun on basic. Oh, what? So this guy has so many crazy things. Stun on basic can totally be exploited in the mastery tree, where a 50% chance to counterattack when the champion loses 25% of their max HP because he's a glass cannon. That happens all the time. And he's stunning them. He stuns them back. Sun Wukong, like I said, my favorite champion. So the other champions, I don't really want to go into too much detail. I do want to talk about the new one right here, Desert Queen, and then also Tree Hugger. But Alice the Wanderer is a very different character. I don't know. I would consider her, when you have Sun Wukong as an option. Her aura is not as good. Yeah, she has a way of sidestepping stone skin and increasing cooldowns. She has a way of respetting her skills, which does make her in some ways a better campaign farmer. Yes, she can do damage. And then this ability right here is very helpful, where she can basically decrease the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. And that typically will get rid of it, right? Loki is all fine and dandy, but because his kit's somewhat complicated, I have found that it does not work well on auto, nor does it work well on defense. He's hard to kill. I get it. He has some amazing manipulation effects if you select the right characters. I have found him to be quite good when I play them and not so good when the AI plays him. And so there's that. Now let's get into the new champions and the one that I'm super excited about. And that is going to be, she's a barbarian. So we're going to go into the index. We're going to select barbarians, and she is a void champion. Void legendaries are significantly harder to get because they're only available in void shards. You can't get them in sacred shards. And I'm finding, as far as shards go, sacred shards is typically where I'm getting a good percentage of my legendaries, and the void ones are not in there, and they only come from the void shards, which are like ancient shards, right? They're like ancient shards, and ancient shards are mostly rares, and so void shards are mostly rares, and it's hard to get void legendaries. Now, what does she do? Now, I'm going to speak from personal experiences that I had a character that had a similar ability to this called Doom Priest, and I had to use Doom Priest in so many different places because this is passive. Removes 1 random debuff from all allies at the start of each turn, and then also removes 2 random debuffs instead from allies under continuous heal. And she's going to be issuing out that continuous heal with her basic. I think this is going to be very useful against Scarab. This can be very useful against the Chimera. I think this is going to be useful in Clan Boss. Actually, the way that I see this character is I think that she's going to be good in nearly all parts of the game from what I could see. I just think this would be an amazing starter character to, put on nearly every team to get the ball rolling, get the ball rolling. Well, roading or rolling. All right. So because I mentioned her basic, let's talk about that. Attack 1 enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, which is very powerful. Although a lot of bosses you can't do that to. Places a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 1 turn. Also places a 15% continuous heal buff on 1 ally with the lowest HP. And then their passive will go from 1 to 2 when they have the continuous heal. I think that's great. Now, her aura, increase the ally accuracy in all battles by 70. That is absolutely useful at times. The idea, though, is to go into a battle with the correct amount of accuracy, and then you don't have to play with that. And you could take, something that does speed, but accuracy is what I say accuracy and speed are probably the 2 most important stats in Raid Shadow Legends for sure. Then right here, this will go to a 3-turn cooldown, and this will go up to 100% chance of playing a 50% decrease attack debuff and block buff for 2 turns. Also applies a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. So if you hit a target that has no negative effects, effectively it is an AoE decrease attack and an AoE block buff. The risk though is that you target somebody that resists it and then nothing spreads, because that's similar to the way that Loki works. Loki has an ability like this as well, but it's the block buffs and then it's like an ability block. Well, this is decreased attack blocks, but now if they already have a bunch of negative effects, it'll transfer 2 of them at random. It's still pretty good. Still pretty good. Right here, Desert Fitness. This can be on a 3-turn cooldown. Increased speed is bonkers good, and increased defense is bonkers good. I could see this being essential inside of Clan Boss. The only thing she really needs is a team revive, and she's the best character I would have in my entire account. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. So anyways, I think this is a good setup. I do want to go over the codes once more. So Desert Queen will get her. Monkey King will get Sun Wukong. If you're inclined to play with Loki or Alice, there are the codes. And then lastly, we've got Tree Hugger, who's a Sylvan Watcher. Now, this is a good character. I think that it's a taunter, right? He taunts, so it's definitely a support character that puts out taunt, and then he can protect the team. So this is Ruarc, and he is a defensive character, so he has a defensive aura. His passive is whenever an ally loses 10% or more of their max HP from a single hit, place a shield buff on that ally for 2 turns equal to 10% max HP. I think that'd be useful almost always. Attacks all enemies, has 80% chance of placing decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Also steals all continuous heal buff from each enemy. This effect cannot be resisted, and that seems somewhat situational. And then here is what makes him effective, is that he has taunt, 60% increased defense, and a 25% streak buff on this champion for 2 turns, and forcing the enemies that do single target into him. Then they're not going to get hit unless it's AoE. I think that's great. It attacks one enemy, transfers all debuffs from his champion to the target, heals this champion by 5% of their max HP for each debuff transferred. So I think there are 2 good choices, Monkey King and Desert Queen. My suggestion is Desert Queen. I think that her support is going to be vital in starting a new account, that it seems super helpful, absolutely. And she is a Void legendary, which makes her even more rare. If you've not done so already, click the link in the description or scan the QR code there on the screen. You'll get Corrado Fox Hunter right out of the gate. And then once you hit level 15, you'll get Ugo. And boy, that is a good looking man there pointing at Ugo, right? And then when you get to level 30, you'll get Tagore, who also revives, also an epic support champion. And you'll be on your way with 2 legendaries and 2 epics, and then you'll have your starter champion, which is probably going to be Kale, and you're on your way. Bye for now.